What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Rant on Wrestling. I am the man with the golden mic, the king of talk style, Anthony DeStefano. And this isn't really a rant on wrestling. This isn't rant at all. This is just pretty much how I feel AEW became the major player that they are in the pro wrestling world, the competition of WWE, if you will. And I just want to give like a 2-year synopsis. They just celebrated 2 years of Dynamite. And I just think that as we enter year 3, when they announced it on New Year's Day, that we should talk about how far this company has come, that in 2 years, people do view it as competition to WWE. Well, it all started at All In, and All In wasn't an AEW event. But All In was when I got in to AEW. We were still doing Rant with Ann at the time, and we got to go there, and we got to interview all these stars, and a lot of them are the AEW talent now. We got to see some amazing matches, and we saw that there was pro wrestling that we could enjoy outside what our minds were pretty much brainwashed for the last 20 years to do, and that's watch WWE. And this isn't a shot at WWE. There's still matches I like, but the formula felt different. The fights felt bigger, and I think that we all yearned for something more. We all wanted something different. We all wanted pro wrestling back and less sports entertainment. And I think AEW presented that. And they presented it before they even were a company at All In when they sold out 10,000 seats, which was amazing at the time. So time passes and we hear all these rumors of AEW coming. And they have the AEW press conference and none other than Chris Jericho shows up. Chris Jericho is the perfect person for that company to bring in first, as he is one of the best wrestlers of all time. People know him. He has a podcast. He's all over the place. So he can be the face of your company, the recognizable face of your company when you do have the 4 pillars in MJF, Sammy Guevara, Hangman Page is probably the 5th pillar, right? But Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, MJF, and Jungle Boy. And then you have people like Hangman Page, who was like your face of the company. Hangman was going to be your chosen guy. And, we've seen how that has blossomed over time with a beautiful story. But they had all this young talent, but they needed that recognizable face. Kenny Omega's the big star, right? Kenny Omega's the best wrestler in the world. But to a lot of casual wrestling fans, Kenny Omega, they don't recognize him. They don't know who he is, right? They've heard of him, but I've never seen his match because a lot of times you had to watch New Japan at 1 a.m. And people weren't doing that, right? People weren't going out of their way to watch New Japan, as great as the product was. But bringing in Jericho then puts eyes, right? TNT plays a commercial and you see Chris Jericho and you're a wrestling fan who's a lapsed fan from 10 years ago. You automatically know that's Chris Jericho. Oh shit, this is a real company. They have a real big name. I think everything started changing too after, at the first pay-per-view, Jon Moxley debuts. Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, of one of the most decorated factions of all time, Triple Crown winner, a world heavyweight champion. Jon Moxley wrestled Triple H. So Jon Moxley, as Dean Ambrose in WWE, was one of their top stars, one of their top merch guys, one of their pivotal members of the top of the card. And he walks and he comes to AEW. And then you start thinking, oh my God, this is going to be fun. This is going to be crazy. Because as he came, they started filling out the roster, right? They start filling out the roster. Yes, of course they're going to sign WWE releases. Like, you see Rusev get released, you're not going to sign him. You see Aleister Black get released, you're not going to sign him. So I hate when people go, oh, look, more WWE guys. Well, there's only one major game in town for the last 20 years where everybody worked. So of course they're going to sign WWE guys. WWE dropped the ball with some of these guys, and we've seen how great Miro has been. We've seen how great Malachi Black has been, right? And I think that's the beauty of what AEW does, is they're very picky and choosy. I know people are like, oh, look, another WWE talent. They've signed like 10 of like the 100 that have been released, and all of them have been really good signings that help further the brand, such as Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish is never going to be a main event player, but Bobby Fish puts on great matches and he helps elevate his opponents. He'll help elevate the younger guys. And that's exactly what you need at this point. You need to start building your new stars, which they're doing with Hangman Page, which they're doing with MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy. These are the next faces of the company. And they're doing a really good job by bringing in these veterans to teach them the ways of that. And they're still doing it in the women's division with Ruby Soho. I think Ruby Soho was a great signing. I would love to see them go get Ember Moon. More veterans to make this women's division better. I think that's what you have to do if you're going to continue to be competition and continue to grow. I see AEW as being maybe the main wrestling company in 3 years. I really do. I think they're going to surpass them in the ratings. I think you're going to get more and more talent over to AEW. I think WWE is going to elevate themselves as well because competition makes people better. If you listen to the first Rant on Wrestling, you'll understand that. My favorite thing about AEW is they're giving people that we wouldn't see have a chance. And the main guy that I'm talking about is Eddie Kingston, right? Eddie Kingston's been a veteran for 20 years. He's one of the best mic workers. We all knew that. We didn't know how good he was in the ring because we didn't get to see him that much unless you were an independent fan. And me stepping back and not watching wrestling for a little bit, I knew Eddie Kingston. I didn't know that he was that great in the ring. Him and Danielson put on probably my favorite match of the year. But Eddie Kingston on the mic, right? Eddie Kingston was a guy who was about to move back in with his mother and give up his wrestling dream. And AEW comes along and they give him this open door opportunity. And the fans reacted. The fans loved Eddie and they got him a contract. And that's my favorite thing about this company is they listen to the fans, right? We wanted Eddie Kingston. We loved what he did against Cody. And Eddie Kingston's been one of their main players because of it. And I just think that kind of story, right? Listening to the fans, listening to the people is such a lost art in pro wrestling that, the giving and taking away is fine. And I know we're used to that. You give us Daniel Bryan as a champion, take it away. We want it more. And I think that's a good story in itself, but just signing people that people want, right? Eddie Kingston wasn't going to work anywhere. AEW gave him the chance. He gets signed. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world now. He's probably my favorite character in the world. And he's not a character. He's genuine. So you relate to him, right? He's a regular day guy. And he talks better than anybody on that microphone. I would love to see him go up against MJF, have a microphone battle. It's just that kind of stuff that I think makes AEW so enjoyable, right? Another thing that they did, they were the company that brought CM Punk back to wrestling. Yes, they are the company that brought CM Punk back out of retirement. And that is when everything changed. In my opinion, when they brought CM Punk back, the production got better. It felt more professional. It felt like they were a major player. And, they were building up over time. They were my favorite wrestling company over time. But when they brought CM Punk back, it was like, oh, shit, like this is about to be a war. This is about to be real competition. This is going to be, one of the top wrestling companies that we can remember, right? We always talk about WCW nostalgia and WWF and WWE nostalgia. In 20 years, if AEW is still around, we're going to say, man, AEW, look, they brought back CM Punk. They're creating these moments for fans. The Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. I'm an Owen Hart mark. That's my favorite wrestler of all time. And now we get to relive his legacy and honor his memory in the best way possible with Tony Khan making that tournament and letting the younger generation know that Owen Hart was like the person who laid this groundwork for smaller guys to be that good at wrestling. You didn't have to be a big muscular guy. Owen Hart showed you that you could be a high flyer, you could be quick, and you could be that damn good. And I think a lot of people looked at Owen Hart for inspiration. So this is a beautiful tournament, and I love it. So he brings back CM Punk. He does the Owen Hart thing, and you're like, how? How can this get any better? Well, he signs Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole, right? So not only now do you have Miro, who was, we loved Rusev in WWE. Rusev Day was over. They didn't see it, and that's fine. Miro's character now, fucking awesome, right? He's killing it. Aleister Black is a creative genius, in my opinion. Now, Malachi Black, the Dark Father kind of, with the face paint, that gimmick, I love it. And he's dominating. Andrade got lost in the shuffle there at the beginning because of stuff out of his control. When he gets in the ring, man, he looks awesome. They bring in Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole to add to that. Adam Cole's 32 years old. Maybe 33 now. But Adam Cole is someone who's going to be the face of this company for 10 years. And you got him. You signed him, right? So now, not only do you have the pillars and Hangman Page, now you have Adam Cole as well. Then you have the veteran guys like CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and Cody Rhodes and the Bucks. This roster is one of the greatest rosters I've ever seen assembled. And they all complement each other really well. And they do really well at using their talent. This is a shot at the other company. I'm just saying, looking 2 years ago when they opened up shop and we were like, oh, cool, they got Joey Janela and Jimmy Havoc. Like, that's cool. We want to see these guys wrestle, right? This is 2 years ago, obviously before all the other bullshit happened, right? But we were like, we want to see this. This is great. They're giving these guys an opportunity. Two years. That's it. 2 years later, we have Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Malachi Black, Andrade, Miro, and CM Punk. Not to mention they got Proud and Powerful, PMP, their tag team division, FTR. They got FTR, the Revival, right? Everyone's favorite tag team in WWE. It's just they're doing these smart business decisions, and I think that that's going to make the company grow bigger and bigger, and I cannot wait to see what they pull off in year 3. I know a lot of people might not like AEW, and that's fine. You can keep your opinion, and I'll have mine. I think AEW is the best pro wrestling in the world. This is the most fun I've ever had watching pro wrestling. It reminds me of the Attitude Era when I'd get home and I'd put on, Monday night I'd put on Raw and I'd put on Nitro and the Monday Night Wars, and I was excited and I couldn't wait to watch wrestling. I haven't had that feeling in years. Even when I was going to WrestleMania as a part of Rant with Ant, I was excited, right? But I didn't have to watch every Monday night. You didn't give me a reason to watch every Monday night. Every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, I know where I want to be. Every Friday at 10 o'clock, I know where I want to be. It's in front of my TV watching AEW. I want to know what you think about the growth in 2 years. What was your favorite moment in the last 2 years of AEW? Where do you think this company is going to go? We went from the ground floor, and I feel like we're at the top of the building now, and it's only going to get higher. They're going to keep building up, and it's been beautiful to see. Like I said, you brought in these guys who we all wanted to see, but now you're bringing CM Punk back. You're bringing the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, back working the style that we love, and I can't find a way to complain about this company. I love this company so much. I want to know what you think. Please listen to our show Thursday. Kyle Masters has just joined us. So that's right. We are the pinnacle of podcasts, a Fantastic Four of podcasts now. I will not be on the show this week. I'm recording this before actually Full Gear. Full Gear's tonight. I can't wait. I'm going on vacation Sunday, so I won't be around. So I wanted to give you guys this rant on wrestling. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you go to patreon.com /Elite POV. Go subscribe. You're going to get amazing content. I might do a different show over there. Rant on Wrestling is exclusive to YouTube. Tell your friends about it. It feels great to be one man, one mic, one topic again. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope to see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of Rant on Wrestling.